right, welcome back to the third episode of the DMG's Third and Wrong podcast. How's everybody doing tonight?
Fantastic.
Great.
Absolutely
Some of us
wonderful.
better than others.
Yeah.
I guess we'll start it off on a high note. How was your weekend, Michael?
It was pretty good, man. I was a little nervous going into it, but then, turned out really good. So, fantastic. Dillon?
Wish I could say the same. Dude, it is frustrating being a Colts fan this year because you feel like they learned something and then they just go back and do the same thing again. But we can get into that a little bit later. But not a great weekend. I was stressed for way too long this weekend, so coming off of that now.
Yeah, same. As everyone saw, it was probably the worst game of football of the year.
Yeah.
Easily. It was
at least the worst quarter.
Yeah, it was just ugly. It was not even a fun game to watch. Thankfully, I was like super sick. So I was like laying in bed watching it. And it didn't even I just wasn't even mad at that point. I was just drained and tired. So I was just watching the game and I was like, yep, this is how this game is making me feel. It's just adding on to it.
Yep.
I'm just drained and tired.
Hey, at least you have 14 days or 12 days at this point before you have to face the Ravens again.
Yeah, no, it'll be fine. I mean, we played awful, and we should have won the game. So, on offense, I should say, the defense played fantastic. Joe Woods, believe it or not, guys, changed the scheme.
Did he?
And watched tape on how the Ravens had been getting beat, and he kept it. It was impressive.
Well, I think Joe Woods he's quite the innovator because I think he's the first person to realize to stop Lamar Jackson, you need 12 people on the field. So, gotta give it to him.
Well, I mean, they're not going to, people make the jokes all they want, but the Ravens were cheating. They're literally trying to cheat the rules there because they can't get in trouble for it. But you put the people out there and then you sub out the last second. You have to give that time for the other team to have their substitutions, and they did it twice. And then Stefanski had to use a timeout that he shouldn't have had to use, period, because the refs should have gave him the time. It was stupid. And then, of course, directly after that, they were all just sitting there like, yeah, bad penalty. We should have had the timeout. Stupid. And then they all just sat out there agreeing with each other. No one decided to get off the field. No, all 12 of us are supposed to be here.
I don't know if I would call it cheating because it's not like they broke a rule. Like they just
they're not breaking a rule, but they're using it to their advantage.
Yeah.
They're trying to cheat the system a little bit.
They're manipulating the system just like Belichick
cheat
does.
The system.
What? No, Belichick's never done that.
I'm not calling Belichick a cheater. I'm just calling him a manipulator of the rules.
Oh, he 100% is.
Yeah. He understands them very well.
Yes, he does.
Knows
a lot of loopholes.
Yeah, it was just not a fun game to watch. But I'm glad people got to see what the actual problems are. People can blame it on Baker all they want. He did not play great. I won't say he did. It wasn't even remotely quote unquote good, but there was 13 drops. Yeah. And that's drops contested, not 13 drops. There was 13 passes that should have been completed that weren't. And there was 6 drops, 5 of which were on first downs. So Baker can't move the ball. They can't score. It's kind of hard when you hit the guy directly in his hands.
And he doesn't
catch it.
Yeah.
He doesn't catch it, yeah. But yeah, Baker sucks. I mean, why can't he throw it, run down there, and catch it?
That's what any other good quarterback does.
I know.
I was going to say that the Browns are also, yet again, innovating. And I actually really like them adding a PTA conference with their team for each week where the parents get to chime in on everything. I think that's a great way to build team success and encourage everyone in the locker room.
You know, it's a great way to build team success. Letting Carson Wentz throw the ball 40 times instead of running it when you have a 10-point lead.
Well, okay, so we'll get into this. We'll get into this, but I do encourage, if you're watching this, watch Frank Reich go and explain this 40 times this weekend. And it sucks that he had to go explain this, but the Buccaneers literally have, if not the best, a top 2 or 3 run defense. And Vita Vea is an absolute animal, along with Pierre Paul and everyone else on that line. So
Yeah.
we did get it going in the second half because we have good conditioning on our offensive line and we were able to get that rolling. But before all of that, they were shutting everything down. Even when we were passing, the whole goal was to shut down Jonathan Taylor. So yeah, it sucked, but like, I mean, that was the way to call the game, honestly.
I don't know. As soon as he started handing the ball, all of a sudden holes were there, and he was still able to run it against that great defensive line.
Well, he was able to in the second half, but in the first half, they were hitting them like at the line, if not before the line, every time.
The first half wasn't the problem, though. You guys had the lead going. The Colts are always great the first 3 quarters. It's when they have the lead in the fourth that they crumble.
Yeah, no, the problem with the Colts, honestly, is just getting ahead and feeling like, oh, we made it, let's protect this lead. And I think everyone just smells blood in the water when the Colts get up 2 scores because, like, okay, well, let's go attack their soft zone. Let's, let them run the ball 2 times and then stop them on 3rd down. And, I mean, that's just the recipe to beat the Colts right now in the second half, is just let them run Jonathan Taylor twice, shut the box down. And then once they try to pass it, they're only going to pass it short or to Michael Pittman. So, like, it's pretty basic to stop. But that's the thing is, like, there's weeks where it looks like we learned that lesson. And then the next week, as soon as we get placed in the same exact situation, it's run Jonathan Taylor 1 to 2 times and then throw the ball short to a tight end or throw it to Michael Pittman. And that's literally all you have to guard against. So,
which I find very curious because, like, Bill Belichick, he always seemed to, like, he just got it down, right? Like, he changes when he needs to. He's like he's the best coach of all, right? And then there's other coaches where, people at home on their couch can sit and tell you what their favorite team. And so I'm just curious why they still do it sometimes when they know it doesn't. And I mean, if lazy butts like us can figure it out, obviously, as a coordinator can sit at home, watch the film, and understand what's going to happen. So I wonder, like, what it is like with coaches calling. Like, I wonder if, like, it's just like in the moment they just kind of go back to what they're with or what they know. I'm interested on how that works.
I would say that it's definitely pride, like having your style of coaching, and you're so focused on your play, what you're trying to get your offense to do, and it's kind of like that, baby shaking thing of just do what I do or do what I tell you to do, and it's going to work out. But Belichick understands coaches, and he understands schemes, and he understands his players. And for Belichick, he doesn't have any pride of like this is my brand of football. It's what brand of football is going to beat Kansas City or New York or Cincinnati, And I mean, he's an expert at teaching all that, coaching all of them up and stuff like that. But he also can execute that in a game. But like you said, like all these coaches they probably have that mindset of like, okay, we're gonna be flexible and try to do what we do. But like as soon as the game clicks on, like it's okay, my stuff is gonna work. But right. I don't know. I think that's close.
Yeah, we can talk about the Patriots. Whatever.
Yay. Great win. About it.
We get to play a really good team without all their best players.
Hey, we're not going to talk about that. Okay, they were still winning without them, though, is the thing. They're still winning without them.
Yeah, but they have half the league on the roster at one point this year. Yeah, like 90 players play for him this year so far, I think. Something like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
really,
Like, they have the worst luck. But
I don't know. I think it was a good win. They were still playing really good without all their players, and they beat the Rams without most of those players. I think they still had A.J. Brown in that game, but I don't know. I think it was a good win. Another, well, the first half was pretty gosh awful, if I have to say so myself, on the Patriots half. Not good. And then giving up that run right there right before half was also very, very bad. And I thought that was going to swing the momentum into the second half for the Titans because, we just gave up that, what was it, like a 70-yard run or something. Defense just decided to quit. Yeah, Hilliard just runs it right down the field with like 20 seconds left. And it's like, yeah, we were just supposed to close these guys out right before half here, and go in with like, I think it was like a 6-point lead or 7-point lead or something. And then, nope, there's that touchdown.
Crazy to think that the Browns had Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, Dearness Johnson, and Dontrell Hilliard all on the same team.
Running back you.
All once. Pretty much.
Like Alabama with, Georgia. It was like Georgia with all their running backs that they had.
Yeah, Mikey should know about that. They picked the best Georgia running back they had there, Sonny Michel over Nick Chubb.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that one anyway. Okay, anyways.
You mean Noni Michelle?
Yeah, no knee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no knees. Yeah, just picking ways to fight at the Patriots. I mean, you got to deal with them for 20 plus years, and you get 1 year of like, oh, maybe they'll just be like a normal football team for once.
Well,
there's a lot of overreactions with this though now.
I think,
honestly.
yeah, I don't know.
It's weekly stuff. They're first in the AFC. And I got to deal with it, and then the overreaction for that, and then they'll lose a game, and it'll be like, well, are they actually that good?
Well, for your information, we're not first in the AFC. The Ravens still are.
Yeah.
We're second. Yeah,
not
thanks a lot. Couldn't beat them for me.
So, one thing that I think is definitely an overreaction that I saw was, I forget who it was someone saying that Mac Jones is running the offense better than Tom Brady was.
Not true.
At the end. Yeah, exactly. Like, the thing about Mac Jones is he's great for a rookie and all that, but you can definitely tell if you watch him play, there's things that he moves a little quicker through his reads than Tom Brady does, and he doesn't anticipate as much as Tom Brady. I mean, obviously it's the GOAT. Like, it's not even a real fair comparison at all. But like the understanding of what Mac Jones is doing right now, I feel like is just seen as like, oh, he's winning games and he's doing good here and here. But like, I mean, he's still a rookie. He still has limitations on his arm. And he still has limitations on reading defenses, and I think he can get tricked a lot more than people really think.
Yes, Mac Jones.
He just doesn't make.
He's doing really good for a rookie quarterback. Obviously, that's what you said last week. He wasn't the sexy pick, but he was the pick that the Patriots needed, and he fits the system perfectly. He's a little dump and run quarterback. Those slants that we always run, the 5-yard to 10-yard slants right over the middle. It's what we do, and then we round and pound the ball. But he's doing a good job. I mean, he's I don't.
That first touchdown pass to Kendrick Bourne, I watched because naturally you started like every effing Patriots player possible against me, and they all decided the only ones that you started are the only ones that decided they were going to score like 25 points.
Hunter Henry did not though.
Oh my gosh, my tight end got 0 points. Stop.
He could have, but Mac Jones decided to like not hit him in his hands when he's right in the end zone.
I was so grateful. I saw that and I was like, how do you guys leave him like 40 yards open? The guy's in the end zone.
He put a move on. I think that was like one of their best safeties or something. He put an absolute just like little jump to the center and cut back out, and the dude just absolutely bit the hardest he's probably ever bit in his life on a route.
That's the only problem with Red Zone. They never really show those highlights. They just jump around too much, so you get to hit and then they go before you get to look at it again. But anyways, that Kendrick Bourne throw was gorgeous. I think it was off the right end, on the right side, a defensive end just blew by his tackle. And Jones like had him like directly in his face, and he just threw it to a spot before Bourne had even broken out on his route, and threw it before he got lit up, and it was just right there in the bucket. It was great. It was a good throw.
It was a good catch too.
Yeah,
it was an impressive catch.
Yeah, so I mean, he's not just like a dink and dunk slant kind of guy. He's just like those dink and dunk slants guys, and then he also has that ability to throw it.
Yes, he's getting a lot better. In a few of their last press conferences, he's been talking about they've been working on those because Jacoby Myers caught a couple deep passes. Obviously, on Sunday he got like 2 for over 20, I think, or something. But he said they've been working on those a lot in practice, and he's getting more comfortable with throwing a deep ball in the NFL and stuff, and so.
All right, well, weekly recap. Biggest losers of the week.
Texans, because they lost to the Jets. I'm just kidding.
Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
I'm gone. Cam Newton now.
I'm back.
And I'm gone the next week.
And you're already fired, buddy. Good job. Welcome back, and see you later.
Yeah, that was pretty rough. And, yeah. What do you think?
Did I miss that he got cut?
No, I'm just
kidding.
But after that performance, I wouldn't be surprised.
No, they're going to start.
Remind me who all lost this week, and the team I'm thinking of.
Steelers.
We had Detroit, Chicago,
yep,
Las Vegas, Dallas, Buffalo, New Orleans. And New Orleans played awful.
Yeah, they played terrible.
Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, and Pittsburgh did what they should have been doing all year. I don't know how Tom wills them to win sometimes, but they're not a good team. They got killed. Philadelphia was dreadful against the Giants. Tennessee was bad, but Jacksonville lost. Indianapolis.
Chargers.
Houston. The Chargers, yeah.
Who's the team? Who the Chargers play?
The Broncos.
Denver.
Broncos, yeah. I thought that was the most surprising game of the week, honestly, how bad that the Chargers looked just through and through.
They couldn't get anything going. Then again, I feel like Denver always does this. Every year they play, they get their division games, and they do it to Patrick Mahomes as well. They'll hold Patrick down to forever and give him a hard time. They always play their division opponents very well, at least once. And I guess this is their time that they did it because they locked that down.
Yep.
Patrick Surtain seems like he's starting to earn his draft selection already.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, he's good.
I was surprised.
He's
I mean,
good.
Everyone was saying that, Justin Herbert is MVP-ish or, he's looking like a top 5 quarterback. And then all of a sudden he just is kind of meh. Like, I mean, he still was really good, I would say, but not what he was looking like even last week.
No, he'll get there. It's not a big deal. He's got the talent. The Chargers just need to get consistent. I wouldn't be worried if I was a Chargers.
Yeah, no.
I would still be a little worried because it's not like the Broncos are a door-busting team. I don't know. I just feel like
maybe for this year.
Yeah.
I'm thinking more of Chargers in the future, but this year, there's a problem because they're losing. Shouldn't. And their record isn't even that good, and they should be losing. They could be really bad right now.
Yeah, I think they are 6-5 right now, 6-6.
Yeah, I think they're
5. I think they already.
Yeah, I think they're one above 500. Yeah, let's see.
I feel like everyone's one game above 500 right now, though.
Dude, everyone in the AFC. Yeah, the AFC's crazy.
The AFC is cracked this year. So many just really good, solid teams. Like the middle of the pack. If you're not winning your division right now and you're in the hunt for the playoffs, it's neck and neck with everyone. It's so close. It's crazy.
Yeah, they're 6-5. But I mean, their defense let the Steelers put up 37 points because they cannot stop the run, which is bad because when you get into playoff time, Throwing the ball around's pretty and great all you want. You need to run the football to win playoff games.
Yeah.
And they can't do it. They can't stop the run. Then they lost to the Vikings the week before, which, I mean, it's not a bad loss. The Vikings are a good team depending on what week they show up.
Yeah.
It's like every other week.
They have a bunch of really good, solid players, and then.
But I mean, they could be 5-6. I mean, the Browns game, just because I know I watched that one, that was given to them. That game was given to them. They almost lost to the Eagles.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the NFL. One play, one drive, one possession.
Change the whole entire game.
Yep. So I mean, really, they have a decent stretch. They've got the last 4 weeks. They've got 3 of their divisional opponents. They finished the last 2 games off against divisional opponents, and they get Houston in between. So I mean, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
I think they'll make the playoffs. Injury news: Christian McCaffrey.
Yep, out for the season.
On again. Not like funny, but funny because he can't seem to stay healthy, sadly.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that dude, he doesn't play to his body style, I feel like. I mean, incredible running back, like one of the best players in the NFL when he's playing, but his body's not built for it.
And I don't know. I feel like it's that usage. You just use, and then when you have those kind of injuries, like it just sucks when you have to like come back, and your body's just not as strong. And all it takes is a tweak, and then it's just crappy. Any other big ones? I don't.
Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, that's right. Dalvin Cook tore a labrum.
Yep.
And you can't play football.
I was going to say the other news is that half the coaches are vying for the Texas job now, apparently, or USC or LSU or Notre Dame. Like, Cliff Kingsbury is never going to leave the NFL.
No, he wasn't great in college. Why would he want to go back?
He's doing better in the NFL than he did in college. Like, it's so dumb.
Yeah, no, there's no way.
Yeah.
Jack Conklin.
That was
yeah.
That was disgusting.
I didn't like that.
Like, I saw him get like blown up on the play. Like, he just like fell straight back on his back. And I was like, dude, what the heck happened? Like, you just got like bullied. And then you're like, oh, he's injured. Okay, that kind of makes sense. And then he stands up. I was like, oh, maybe he'll be fine. Snap. Oh, no. That went inside. That's not coming back.
Yeah, I think that's. I'm not trying to make this a hot take, but I feel like that is the biggest hurdle the Browns are going to have to overcome is the right side.
Dude, Blake Hance is dreadful.
Yeah,
I get so mad because they're like, Baker can't win because he's got this amazing receiving core, great tight ends, best offensive line of football, and the best running back group. Austin Hooper's trash.
Yeah, he was only good at the Falcons.
He's just not good. I'm sorry. I don't get it. He can't be cut because he's got a lot of money. The dude, every time he catches it, like if you guys watch, like when he goes and runs a route, he'll turn around backwards and like do a backwards catch every single time. He always has his back away from where he should be running. And he drops them all the time. He drops so many third downs. He's got like 7 drops this year. It's crazy. And that doesn't even count. Drops are just like when it hits him square in the him. That doesn't even count the times that it's like, oh, there's a defender on him and he drops a catch. Because those are like, oh, contested catches that they break up. Those aren't counted as drops. That's dropping the football. You got 2 hands on a football. Catch the ball. Yeah. David Njoku's good, right? Harrison Bryant, he's got potential.
Yeah.
And then you're going off of names. You're going off of Odell and Jarvis. Odell is not Odell. Odell is a name. Jarvis Landry's good. Jarvis Landry's really good. Except he's limited athletically already, and then he hurt his hip, and that limited his already limited athleticism. It's just not great. Like if you saw, like, we couldn't go further than 10 yards down the field because none of the receivers or tight ends can create separation. I mean, like, I know, like, who was it? Chris Collinsworth. He kept trying to like hype up like Nate and Njoku, talking about how great Njoku is, and he's like the outside threat that we need. Like, no, he's our only outside threat, which is not good for like a wide receiver core. Is your second string tight end technically being your outside receiver? That's not good. It's not a good system. It's bad. It is not a good throwing system right now. And then the offensive line is dead. I mean, their run blocking is good, right? But pass block, if Jedrick Wills, I mean, he's been dreadful this year. And Blake Hance is a left guard. He's a third string left guard, just backup lineman, and he's playing right tackle. Every play big.
That's the biggest thing. I love the Browns. I feel like I'm rooting for them to win every game, and especially because my wife's a Browns fan. But I honestly, like, I've been wanting see the Browns be good for a long time. But I think this year at this point, I don't think there is any confidence going into any game at this point, and I think we could see a pretty bad fall, and it's going to shake things up this offseason, no doubt. I think there's going to be a lot of moving pieces for the Browns, but I still think that Baker stays. But I think there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of movement. Like, it's going to be brutal.
And not this weekend because they're on a bye, but the next week will determine the season, which I'll be down there for. I get to see that game live.
What did you say before that?
It'll determine the season.
Oh, yeah.
Week 14 for the Browns. It'll determine if they actually can go for a playoff run or done. If they lose, Baker just needs to sit. What?
I think you guys are done. I just feel like the attitude and just, I mean, parents chirping in, and I don't think there's really any hope with. I just think that's more of a smoke of what is, the smoke signs of what's going on. I don't think that's the problem, but I feel like that's telling that there is a problem, and I think there's going to be a lot of change.
You don't need to see the parents saying stuff that there's a problem. Did you watch them on offense?
Well, yeah, of course. I'm just saying, like, it's that bad, though, that, Odell's father speaks up, Kareem Hunt's, father speaks up. Like,
his is a little bit different.
It's different. It's just the fact that they're speaking up, though. Like,
yeah.
To me, that's just, it's not a good look. It's not the issue, but it's, it's indicative of what's going on there. And, yeah.
Let's see. Forrest Buckner, he's hurt. They said he's pretty banged up. He's questionable. I guess Amari Cooper, he's probably not playing Thursday, I guess now. They haven't even released why. Daniel Jones is doubtful for the week. That's all I can really think of right now, honestly. I'm like trying to scroll through, but I'm not seeing anything.
So let's go through what our predictions were this last week and kind of see where we're all lining up.
Right. So we didn't do a podcast last week. Just didn't.
No.
Timing and families just didn't match up.
Yeah,
nothing wrong. Gage's fault.
Yeah, blame Gage.
Yeah.
Dillon picked Chicago.
Bold.
Mikey and I got Detroit. We thought that was going to be the win, and of course, Detroit found a way to not pull it out. Sadly,
like always.
We're rooting for you guys. I'm sorry.
I'm about to quit,
but it's going to be rough this next week too. I think they're going to get killed by the Lions or the Vikings, not the Lions. No.
They're already killing themselves, Gage.
Yeah.
And then the craziest game, I think, of the week, Vegas versus Dallas.
Yeah, that was a good game to watch.
It was a great game.
We all picked Dallas to win. It was a great game to watch. I just didn't find it crazy that there was 3 teams playing. You had the refs, the Raiders, and the Cowboys. What was there, like 40 penalties that game?
On rest.
Dude, it was crazy.
Yeah.
At least that ref, his kids got to see him. He's like, I want to be on TV, guys. Watch. And he made sure he got a screen time. The other really enthusiastic, fantastic game of Buffalo and New Orleans to finish off your Thanksgiving night of New Orleans not showing up.
And Josh Allen having a field day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the Colts kind of led the way for that game because the Bills are just so frustrated that they just came in just like, we're not holding back. We're still a good team.
Patriots are in first in our division now? I don't think so.
Pittsburgh and Cincinnati.
Love to see it.
Yep, love to see it. Also got to see, TJ Watt be the kind of person he is, a scumbag.
Who did we pick for that Bills game? Did we all pick Bills?
Yeah, we all picked Bills and Cincy. So we all won this one. Then we had Carolina versus Miami. Dillon and I picked Miami. Mikey got Carolina.
Crap. Cam, you suck.
You picked that for the Cam thing?
Dolphins,
I did.
The Dolphins have been pretty hot lately. And,
yeah, I think they're 4 in a row now, 5 in a row.
They're doing what they did that last year. They go on that huge stretch. They're just doing it reverse. Last year they started off really good, and then they just kind of sucked it up to the end of the year. This year they're sucked.
Yeah, I mean,
what is that? 4 in a row? 5 in a row?
I think it was 4 in a row.
Jalen's pretty hot right now too. But
say it one more time.
I said that. I mean, Tua was hurt for a little bit, and then Jalen Waddle just caught fire. So
yeah, dude's insane.
Next one was Philly and the Giants. We all picked Philly.
Crap.
The next one was Tennessee versus New England. We all picked New England. I had originally picked Tennessee when I was texting you, Mikey, with my sister.
Yeah.
And then the very next day, A.J. Brown went on to IR, and I was like, yeah, I'm going with New England. There's no way Tennessee can win. Atlanta and Jacksonville. I was the only one that picked Atlanta.
Damn. Trevor, you suck.
I'm not going to act like I knew that was going to happen or anything. No. I only picked Atlanta because I have Cordero Patterson. And I was like, let's go Atlanta.
That was one of these right here. Yeah, they're gonna win right there. They're pretty good.
You never know with Urban Meyer, dude. That guy. Yeah. Next one was Indy versus Tampa Bay. Mikey and I both picked Tampa. You picked Indy. I don't know if you really wanted to pick Indy.
Well, what I would have said is the same thing I would have said in other weeks,
Bills.
Which is basically, so essentially. The way that you gotta look at it is the Colts are always going to look good at one point in the game. They're gonna play great either in the first half or for some reason they're just gonna pull it through the second half or something like that. But what I would have said that week is the Colts are gonna look great. They're gonna look good. I probably would have said that Jonathan Taylor was gonna go off, but I knew that essentially what was going to be either we get a lead and we squander it away because of course we do, or we just get the doors blown off of us with Mike Evans and Godwin. But I mean, thankfully we held them in check for pretty much everything other than Leonard Fernett. And if it wasn't for Leonard Fournette, if it wasn't for the one interception, I think, and then the strip sack fumble, and the two, I will go and argue to anyone that those defensive pass interferences should have or could have been called, but along with almost every other call in the year would not have been called because literally they're so ticky tacky. Exactly, Tom Brady gets the benefit of the doubt because if he misses, there's a reason why he missed, and that's probably because the defense did something. But the one on Scotty Miller, I mean, you could call it. I'm not saying that they didn't touch or anything like that. It wasn't a phantom call, but it's just the way that that play was played. It's so ticky tacky to even try and call that. And then the one in the end zone.
Yeah, that was the one I was gonna get. The one that was in the end zone. That was just a total bailout.
The tight end is literally pushing the guy, almost essentially tackling him, and then cuts over, which is smart. I mean, good for him for playing basketball in the end zone, and Tom Brady for giving him a chance. But because the guy came back into the play, going for the ball, hits the tight end. It's called a defensive pass interference, and saved them. On one of them or they're both their downs, I believe, where we would have taken the ball over. So it's frustrating. We still got beat. We still let them score points and everything, but it's just so frustrating when you have to overcome those two penalties and then just really uncharacteristic fumbles, like especially the Naheem Hines one. Like we look great, and I still have confidence in our team going forward that we can beat anyone, but we can't beat people when we're giving them the ball like it's nothing. So it's just frustrating.
Unless you're the Ravens.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, the Ravens just get away with so much because they're really well coached, and they can just find a way with Lamar Jackson. Like, he's starting to look like a unicorn. But
yeah, looked like a unicorn throwing 4 picks. But let's talk about how great he was all night long. The dude was garbage. Awful. He was garbage all night. He had one throw that he just chucked up that no one covered. He was butt naked, wide open. And then I got to hear about how amazing he was all night.
Yeah. Well, and so that was exactly what happened with the Colts, or not exactly, but when we played them, I mean, he didn't really do a whole lot until we lost our second and third string cornerbacks when our first was already out for the game. And so we had Kenny Moore and 2 people that essentially are like practice squad elevated type cornerbacks.
He didn't miss like a pass for like an entire quarter, like if I remember correctly. Like he did it like 18 in a row.
Yeah. No, and I'll stick by it too. Like I think Lamar Jackson's great, and I think that they'll have a lot of success this year. But I feel like if they're going to face like the Patriots,
No chance.
I don't think they have a chance against the Patriots. Who else is in the AOC? I mean, obviously they can beat the Titans, they can beat the Colts, and so on. But I just don't think that I don't think the Ravens are going to make it to the Super Bowl with Lamar Jackson unless he can just pass when he can go a whole quarter with just only passing, or a whole half with only passing, and just picking apart defenses. Like, he just hasn't done that yet.
The playoffs, if you have any flaw, it is magnified. And that's why Lamar has struggled in the playoffs, because people know what his limitations are and they played to it. You don't have to stop him. You're not going to shut him down. The guy's a freak athlete. You can't catch him, but you can limit him. You can slow it down.
To be fair, though, I mean, the Ravens have had bad luck in their backfield this year, and I mean, they would look a lot better if they had if they had any of their original 3 or 4 running backs. Exactly. And I mean, they got wide receivers, they got Mark Andrews, and they got it. I mean, their defense isn't bad. Like, their defense isn't just awful. They're not as good as they have ever been.
They're first in the AFC.
They have enough of a defense to make it to the playoffs, and enough of a passing game to make it into the playoffs, because you can just throw it up to Mark Andrews, but that's just not going to work in the playoffs. You were saying. And I might eat those words this year, but for right now, like, it's just not proven.
They won't win the Super Bowl. Moving on, we had the Jets and Texans barn burner.
Who do we pick for those?
Someone burned down their barn watching that.
Dillon's the only one that picked the Jets, and that's just because he's in love with Zach Wilson.
No, I recognize that the Texans are just not a great team, and I mean, the Jets aren't either.
Yeah.
But
where are you going with this?
I'm just saying, like, I feel like the reason why I picked the Jets over the Texans is, I mean, they got something going with Michael Carter. I don't think he was great that game, but
Zach Wilson, bro.
Zach Wilson's good. I mean, he didn't look phenomenal, but he's putting the Zach Wilson band on.
Yeah.
But no, I think Zach Wilson's. I think he's making good steps. He's still got a long way. I mean, he went from playing a group of 5 teams to playing complex defenses with not a good offensive line. So, I mean, it's going to take a little bit, but I don't think he's a problem at all over there.
Then we've got the Chargers versus the Broncos. We already went over. We all got that wrong. Then we had San Fran and Minnesota. Dillon and I picked San Fran. Mikey, you picked Minnesota.
Did I?
Yeah, apparently. I went back and looked at the text, and I was like, why?
Was I on drugs? Good Lord.
Not sure. And then we all picked Green Bay.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback.
Yeah, I will never, ever bet against Aaron Rodgers, ever.
Unless it's against Tom Brady, because then you know the refs are going to make sure that Tom Brady wins that one.
Yeah,
a.k.a. NFC Championship game, in which pass interference calls that weren't called for Aaron Rodgers were called for Tom Brady, and the exact same crap happened.
Yeah. Well, that's just Tom Brady being whatever, you know.
And then the
Tom
biggest
Brady.
shock of the week was Cleveland-Baltimore. You guys both picked Cleveland, and I picked Baltimore.
What?
Yeah.
I told you, if you ask me early in the week before like the game, like if you asked me before Friday or Saturday when I just turned into a fan and I'm like, dude, I just can't wait. Like we're gonna win. We can win. And you asked me earlier in the week when I have like, you know, like I'm off like the high and I can like look at things and be honest with myself. I picked Baltimore because the Browns struggle against Baltimore. And it was a lot closer than I thought. And our offense was garbage. Yeah, I think we'll beat them week 14 for sure. And then the last one, which really surprised me, is we all picked Washington over Seattle. And I was like, dude, I thought I picked Seattle. And then I went and like through and looked at the text and saw what I said. And dude, I just bashed Seattle. And I was like, okay, good. Nope, that's exactly what I thought. And Seattle is just not good.
They
Russell
are
Wilson
not good this year, man.
Mm-mm.
I don't know what it is. They just can't get anything going. It also doesn't help that DK Metcalf had like 0 targets through like 3 quarters or something. 0 targets.
Well, he slept with Sierra, so Russell Wilson's putting him in punishment time right now.
Yeah.
You're wide open? No. And the cherry on the top was throwing a pick on the 1-yard line to end the game.
Yeah.
Instead of just
so
running
uncharacteristic of him.
Yeah.
What?
I said so uncharacteristic of him.
I know, right? So yeah, that's kind of like the recap. We messed up. So far, Dillon's in the lead with 26. Mikey's in last with 19, and I have 25.
Now we know why I've lost so much money sports betting.
Yeah. And because, it's meant for you to lose.
That's true.
But I feel like if I were to start again, I could do good.
That's not
I bet I
happen.
remember that. I know, right?
Do we want to do players of the week? Because I actually kind of wrote some stuff down for this, so I was kind of hoping we were gonna jump on it today.
I guess.
Yeah. Cool.
Go ahead.
All right. Well, so I kind of have 2 for offense.
Oh no.
But no, it's no.
Hendrick, Ward, and Matt.
No, they're 3rd and 4 on the list. So,
all right. Who's
number 1 for me is Leonard Fernett. He had 17 carries for 100 yards and 3 rushing touchdowns, and then his receiving stats were gosh awful because he had 8 targets for 7 yards, but he also had a receiving touchdown, so he had 4 total touchdowns on the day. So that's a pretty solid day.
And you want to know what else is gosh awful? Is I played Michael in fantasy, and I still lost because Nick Folk got 24 effing points.
And our defense got 24 points as well.
Dude, like, how am I supposed to compete when a special teams and defense is getting him over 50 points?
Yeah, and Kendrick Bourne had 2 touchdowns that I started in my flex that I picked up out of the waivers as a last second. Help me, please.
And he'll be crap for the rest of the year. That's in the story of my league this year. Anytime somebody picks up somebody like J.D. McKissick, because Gibson got hurt and he was projected to get like 3 points, ended up getting like 37. And it was just like that for the rest of the year. first guy's having like the best game of his season and hasn't topped it yet. It's every week. It's just so annoying. Whatever. All right, keep going.
Well, then my honorable mention is Jalen Waddle, the receiver from Miami. He had 10 targets for 9 catches, 137 yards, and also caught a touchdown. So, thought it was pretty good. Pretty good week for him. He's starting to really get back in there with Tua and get some good chemistry going. So, thought it was a good honorable mention for offense this week.
He's killing it.
Yeah.
I mean, obvious was Leonard Fernett. I mean, you can't really top 4. He's going to win Offense Player of the Week. Defense.
Whoa.
Dillon. Well, who do you got?
I'm going to go.
KB, dope. I agree.
Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon?
I'm just kidding. No, obviously Leonard Fournette. I'm just bitter. I don't want to give it to him. Joe Mixon.
He could have at least went T. Higgins or something. He also had like 100 and something yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, but Joe Mixon, the reason why he's doing good this year is because I didn't draft him in fantasy this time. So,
yeah. So basically, we have you to thank for that.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Dillon. He's actually a joy to watch.
Best defensive player?
Keeping with the Bengals, I'm going with Mike Hilton, the corner from the Bengals, as my defensive player of the week. He had a 93.7 coverage grade against the Steelers. He only allowed 3 yards in coverage, and he came up big with a pick 6 to kind of keep the momentum going and keep the Steelers down in the grave. So Mike Hilton, for me, corner, is my defensive player of the week.
Defensive player of the week. The entire Browns defense.
Yeah, they all played pretty good.
Yeah, that they should not have lost a game. Probably, like that entire team played very well, but JOK was the glue. I mean, he literally was drafted for the reason that he did.
Yeah.
And he is a missile.
He's really good.
He tracked Lamar like it was nothing. It's fantastic watching him play. It's crazy watching, like for the Browns, they just don't have a good linebacker. It's just not great. And then you see somebody that, like, when he goes to make a tackle, he, like, wraps up and they get an extra 3 yards. They don't break the tackle. But, like, in all honesty, Mike Hilton had a very good game. And then so did
everyone on the Patriots defense.
Yeah, I think it was Judon. He had a strip sack, didn't he?
I don't know if he had I think he had a sack. I know he had a sack, and then I think it was Jawan Bentley that had that strip sack, maybe.
I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find who I was thinking of. Who is your defensive player, Dillon?
I think the greatest defensive play. I'm bitter about it, but Antoine Winfield, I think, made the greatest catch interception. It was pretty impressive of the week, and I like Mike Hilton. I think that one was good, and he played great. But I think the best defensive play was that Antoine Winfield interception, essentially over Michael Pittman, who has mossed like 4 or 5 different corners this year. So got to give respect to that. I thought that was very impressive, and I don't really think we threw too much towards Antoine Winfield as well. I mean, he played a great game.
Who did you say that last bit?
Antoine Winfield?
Yeah.
Winfield, gotcha. We're not giving him the credit. That's what you said.
Yeah, it's Mike Hilton all day.
No, I remember now. I'm gonna take away what I said. Patrick Surtain, 2 picks, pick 6, shut down an actual good quarterback, and Justin Herbert.
Yeah, that's why opinions exist.
I knew there was somebody. There was somebody.
I feel like those interceptions were kind of like gimmies. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, he played great. I'm not trying to discount that.
He turned it into 7 points.
Yeah.
So, and to get it twice to stop them on drives. I mean, you score a touchdown on defense.
I think those ones are more of Herbert's mistakes than.
No, the one that he scored on was he threw it to Eckler. Eckler had it in his hands like this, and it just right, like just popped up right through, and Surtain took it. But, and then I guess we've got the picks for the week. This is our lovely board.
Looks great.
Can you guys still see it, right?
Yep, I got it.
All right. Dallas versus New Orleans at New Orleans. Dill?
Dallas.
Mikkel?
I am also going to go Dallas.
Then I'll make it 3 in a row. Dallas hasn't been winning.
Oh.
They're actually on a skid, but
Yeah.
dude, New Orleans, they just aren't a good team right now.
Mike
And I
McCarthy.
I was gonna say
Yeah, go
Taysom Hill might be playing this week.
Yeah,
so,
I saw that.
Who?
He's
Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill,
Taysom Hill.
second coming of Steve Young.
Yeah, okay.
Mike McCarthy's not coaching though either, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, get Kellen Moore on there, except they're going to have
I think they had.
Quinn.
Yeah,
Quinn's
yeah.
over.
I still think the Cowboys will take it.
Yeah, Jerry Jones wouldn't give Kellen Moore an audition
Yeah, he's like
to go out there and do that. No, New Orleans. It's Thursday night, and I don't think Alvin Kamara or Mark Ingram are going to be back.
Yeah,
That's not like official. It's Tuesday night, so who knows? But we'll see. Next one, Indianapolis versus Houston. If you guys don't know, this is at Houston. So if T.Y. Hilton is on your fantasy waiver wire and you guys needed somebody to pick up, he will be getting 2 touchdowns. I'm just calling it now. He will be getting 2 touchdowns.
In Houston.
He will either get 2 touchdowns or he will get 1 touchdown that's like 60 yards, and then he'll have like 100.
Yep, that's how it goes. This is going to be a repeat of what we saw against New York Jets, and it's going to be close at the end, but I think the Colts walk away with this one. They're angry, and they're going to run all over the Texans. I don't think T.Y. Hilton's going to go for 100 yards, but he'll get a goal line touchdown.
He's going to get a deep ball.
Nope.
Mikkel?
I'm also going to go with the Colts.
This has been really confrontational here.
Yeah, these ones are pretty straightforward.
Minnesota versus Detroit. Keep going.
I was going to say, I feel like we know a lot more about these teams with it being week 12, so
Yeah,
I feel like we're going to learn them a lot more now.
Yeah. Minnesota versus Detroit. This is in Motor City.
Whew.
In Motor City, I just don't think the Lions have anything to compete with, Jay Jettas and Adam Thielen. Madison still looks great when Cook's out, so that's not going to slow him down. I think Minnesota takes this one.
Heck yeah, dude. The former Boise State Bronco, Alexander Madison, is going to blow it up. Hopefully. Let's get it.
No
He's my boy. Hopefully he leaves and gets like a full-on like first starting job for somewhere. He deserves it. If people don't know, he is like him and Jay Ajayi are my all-time favorite Boise State players. I'm a Boise State fan. I got a helmet signed with Ajayi and Madison. It's dope. I wish them the best. So Dillon and I go in Minnesota. Go Detroit, or are you going to stick with the status quo?
I'm going to go with my guns here. Lions by 1. Jared Gott's going to squeak it out here. They got to get 1. No one else can be like the Browns.
You're down by 5.
Yeah, so what's the point?
You don't want to do the forfeit at the end of the year.
Well, this is going to be my I told you so moment.
Okay. All right, we got the Giants in Miami. Again, Daniel Jones may not be playing, so they will have Sky Cam Glennon playing. Sky Cam. Most likely.
I think there's going to be a whole lot of people picking the Giants. I'll go with Dolphins. I think they're cooking and got it on their side right now.
Okay, Mikey.
I'm going Dolphins, even though I don't want them to win. But yeah, Dolphins.
Tampa Bay versus Atlanta. That's a soccer team. Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Tampa Bay. I don't need to explain that one.
Yeah, I second that.
Yeah.
This is gonna
All
very
these ones
competition
don't
week.
really match up well.
Denver in Kansas City.
Ooh.
I would go with Denver typically in this situation because it's in-state or not in-state, in-division rivals. But KC is coming off a bye, so
Yep, they're rested.
They're way too good off buys, and Andy Reid's too good of a coach. I'm going KC.
This is fun. All right.
This is great.
This is going to be a good one, though. This is where it's going to change up, though.
Yeah, Philadelphia versus the New York Jets. Are you gonna go with your fanboy love for Zach Wilson and the Jets?
Sorry, my mic went out. 1 second.
You're good.
Yeah, so I would definitely say the Philadelphia is going to take this one.
Mikey.
I'm also gonna go Philadelphia. Jets still suck, so.
Yeah, I'm taking Philly as well.
When Philly can run the ball, they are hard to stop, and hopefully they revert back to what they were doing weeks prior to what they just tried this past week.
Which was
catching the ball. So,
dude, is there a team that hates their best offensive weapon more than the Eagles? Miles Sanders is incredible. He's actually a good back, and they find ways to not give him a workload amount of touches, week in, week out. I don't get it.
I think I'd rather have Jalen Hurts run it,
They did it last year when the Browns were playing the Eagles. It was like a monsoon game, nonstop rain and crap. And he had, I think, Miles Sanders, for the first 2 drives, he was getting 6 yards to 10 yards every rush. They were just killing us. And then they went away from it, and they gave the ball to other players and throw the ball more, and they ended up losing. And I was just like, why did they not just keep running? Miles Sanders is great. I don't get it. And it's carried over to this year. Arizona versus Chicago. In Chicago.
I think Kyler's back, so I'm going.
Yeah,
Arizona.
Kyler's 50-50. They're saying that he might be back.
I'm going to go on the chance that he's back, or Case Keenum is good enough to beat the Bears.
I was also going to take Arizona. They can clinch playoffs if they win this week. So
yeah, I'm going to take the Cardinals too because they're coming off a bye, so they're pretty well rested. And D-Hop should more than likely, hopefully be back. He's still got that hamstring problem, but
here's a good game: Chargers versus Bengals in Cincinnati. The Bungles.
I'm going to go with the hot hand and go with the Bengals.
Michael?
They're playing good on all sides.
I'm also going to take the Bengals. I want to say the Chargers just because I like Justin Herbert and he's on my fantasy and all, but I just think the Bengals are playing much, much better football. And as much as I like to say the Chargers are going to come back and win this week because, they got beat last week and we got to show these guys that we're something, but I think the Bengals are just playing really, really, really good right now. So I think they're going to keep it up and keep it winning.
I'm going to go away from recency bias, one, because I want the Chargers to win. And the people are like, the Bengals are a force to be reckoned with. They just got their breaks destroyed by the Browns 2 weeks ago.
They did.
They got blown to oblivion. They're a young team. If they try to play a game where they're not focused on Joe Mixon, I don't. If they focus around Joe Mixon, the Chargers stop the run. It'll be good, but I just Air Bear and the boys are going to go out and they're going to beat the Bengals, and the Bengals are just inconsistent.
That's a good point, too.
Both teams are inconsistent, but one team played really good last week and one team played bad last week, so it's just going to
flip-flop, but I'm sticking with the guns.
AFC special right there.
Yep.
Another actually good one, Washington versus the Raiders in Las Vegas.
If it wasn't for the game that they had against Dallas, I would have gone Washington.
Before you go,
I'm going.
I do not think Darren Waller is playing.
No, he's out.
I think he's out.
Yeah, we forgot to talk about that. He's out.
He hasn't really had a dominant last couple of weeks.
Not a dominant last couple of weeks, but he also takes the game plan for him. They make sure that he's by anybody besides him.
I still think that the Raiders are going to get after Taylor Heineke quite a bit. I'm going to go the Raiders, but not super confident in it.
Michael?
I'm also... Oh, crap. I'm gonna go with Raiders. I'm just gonna go with the first team that popped in my head.
Okay.
Hopefully they can just keep that momentum going from this last win over Dallas and keep the refs in their paybook.
I'm gonna go Washington.
Dang it. I'm going Washington. I'm just kidding.
I'm just trying to bridge the gap with Dillon. And I think it's a 50-50. I think either team.
Yes.
I think Washington are the hotter team, and they're starting to run the ball really well. Another game that's going to be a split here, probably the Jaguars versus the Rams in LA.
I think it's going to be a split. I'm going Rams.
Yeah, I'm going Rams.
I will also be going with the Rams.
Yeah, it was a joke. There's no chance. Baltimore versus Pittsburgh. My bad. Not me to do that.
I don't know. I kind of want to pick the Steelers on this one. I mean, I feel like Lamar Jackson might go on revenge game here with his 4 interceptions and all that. But I feel like the Ravens just don't have a complex offense. They're pretty limited right now. I don't think the Steelers are going to look phenomenal, but I can see the Steelers taking this one because it's such a heated rivalry and everything.
It is in Pittsburgh as well. And playing in Pittsburgh is not a fun time. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Pittsburgh on this one, though, I feel like it's a 51-49 kind of deal for me.
Michael?
I'm going with the Ravens.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers as well, sadly.
Well.
They find ways to win games, and that's going to be one of them. I think the Ravens have been they have gotten a lot of games that they shouldn't have, and I think you can only play with fire for so long. San Fran versus Seattle in Seattle.
I'm going San Fran. I think they got something to go with on the running game.
Yeah.
And Garoppolo has actually looked pretty good, so I'm going with the Niners.
The only thing holding me back is Russell Wilson is literally the Niner killer. The Niners struggle against him so much. But I agree. I think the Niners are probably a team to watch in the NFC. They're not talked about. They had a crappy start. But you do not want to be the team that has to play them if they make, which they are. I think they're 5th place right now. So, Mikkel?
I'm gonna go with the Niners as well.
And then I think the game of the week will be the Chargers. I think the Seattle and San Fran game will actually be better than, but the game, like the game of the week, Bills versus Patriots.
Yep.
First place.
Up for grabs in the division here.
Yeah. Sunday Night Football.
Monday
Or
night.
is that Monday night? I think it's Monday night. Yeah, I think it's
football. At Orchard Park.
I'm taking Buffalo.
I knew you would.
Listen, I like you. I won't buddies and all, but Lake Erie bros stick together. Buffalo's gonna win.
I've never heard that before.
I think this game comes down to running the ball. New Orleans could not run the ball on the Bills to save their lives, partly because Kamara hasn't been in there. But I think that New England is going to be able to run on Buffalo. Yeah. I don't think Buffalo is going to be able to run on New England. And I think, I don't know if you watched the HBO Max, the Hard Knocks for the Colts, but just the way that they were talking about this team, they weren't scared by them. And I mean, if the Colts and Frank Reich aren't scared, I don't think Belichick is going to be. So I'm taking the Patriots. I think they're gonna knock out Diggs. Not knock out Diggs as in like hurt him, but I think they're gonna take him out of the game. And Josh Allen is gonna have a tough game.
Mikey, do I even need to ask?
Yeah, but no, but I want to give it a rundown. Well, so first place in the AFC East up for grabs. Last year with a pretty cruddy Cam Newton, we played them pretty close twice, and Cam Newton throws it in the dirt 5 yards away from him, and we still played them pretty close, and we are, I think, 10 times better than that team last year, and the Bills were better. Their defense this year is a little bit better, but all around they are better this year. They just don't have as good as a record as they did last year, but they are a better team this year. But the Patriots are also a whole new team this year. And I think our defense is just going to be a little too much for the Bills to handle. And I think J.C. Jackson will be sticking with Stephon Diggs all game, and Matt Judon's going to come off. Huh?
Mr. INT?
Yeah. And then Matt Judon's going to be coming off the edge unblocked like he does every game, three times a game.
I seriously don't get it. Like, do they not watch film? I don't get it. Like, would you leave Myles Garrett unblocked? No, they triple team.
Yeah, I'd be double team and triple team every play for sure on Myles Garrett. Yeah, I just think they're not giving Matt Judon the respect yet. I mean, he's for sure earned it already, but no team's giving it to him.
I don't get it. Like, you watch them every week, and they'll block him, right? But they only block him with like one person. Sometimes
the Titans.
There's like,
so it was
one thing. Sorry.
No, go ahead, bro.
I was going to say one thing that I think is starting to get a lot more notice with the Patriots, and probably the reason why Judon is seemingly coming free more than you'd expect is they got a really good draft pick in Christian Barmore.
Yes,
and
that dude is a stud.
Don't know how he got there. I thought a lot of people were projecting him like 18 to 20, something like that in the first round. But
was he a rookie or was he last year?
No, Christian Barmore is our rookie. Right? Yeah, he's our second round pick or second or third round pick this year, I believe.
Christian Barmore got to the second round?
Yeah, exactly.
That goes the same thing with like Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Like,
yeah.
Like, how do they get to the second round? That makes no sense.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened during draft day, or not draft day
process.
Yeah, I don't know what happened during like the whole combine crap and what else happens. I don't know what.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Yep, Yes, he is. He was a tank at Notre Dame as well.
Oh, I was talking about
Barmore.
Barmore. Yeah,
Yeah, he is a beast as well.
I
Super good.
I thought I was like he had been picked up in the first round. Did the Patriots have 2 first rounders?
Nope.
I didn't think they did, and
Nope.
that's surprising.
Yeah, I'm surprised he fell that far.
Yeah, I just think that he's starting to get more recognition for what he's doing, but I think that's one of the reasons why Judon is seemingly getting more open shots than you would think.
It's just put the running back. If you have him stay for block, have him go to the chip, have him go to the side that Judon's on. It's not hard to highlight. Dude's wearing bright red sleeves.
Yeah.
He's saying, "Please block me," and they won't.
And Lawrence Guy's playing really good too on the other side of the other side of that line. So
yeah. And the more we're talking about it, the more I want to switch to Buffalo because Buffalo's offensive line is just absolutely dreadful.
Yeah,
and I'm going to switch. Yeah, I'm switching. I can't. The offensive line. I like Josh Allen. He proved me wrong when he
as well.
Wyoming.
You just really want to stay close in our score because
what do you mean? I picked
there's like
3 different things.
There's like 2 different picks.
That's just who I think is going to win.
I'm just saying you're going to stick real close to me.
I'll end up winning. Don't worry.
We'll see.
But anyways, well, long story short, what I was saying, Patriots defense going to be a little too much for the Bills offense, and I think Bill Belichick is gonna, and Josh McDaniels is gonna have Mac Jones really coached up to manage this game very maturely and just go out there and tear him up.
Let's hope he doesn't throw a bunch of picks now or something.
Yeah, watch out for KB.
No.
2 catches, 506 yards. No, I'm just kidding.
Randy Moss numbers.
Yeah, 3 catches, 168 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Calling it.
That's the picks for the week.
Yep.
Stop that. Was that good feedback on the screen? They did it look clear the entire time.
I'm gonna find out once I go to edit it, but I believe you should be able to see it.
Well, perfect. Anyone else have anything really?
Not really.
No, I would just say that what was I gonna say? Shoot. I don't know. Just Ghost is alive in Houston this week, and it's gonna get real nasty up there.
Well, thank you guys for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe.
Yeah.
Leave a comment specifically about what we should do if you lose, aka Michael. What his forfeit should be.
Hey, it's a long, short season coming up. Okay, long, short stretch.
So comment what Mikey should have to do.
Comment what Gage Jones should have to do.
And see you guys next week.
Yep. Bye-bye.